Hey, welcome back to another conversation. We're so glad that you're here. Glad to have Pastor Allen with us. I hope you enjoyed last week, which was week 1 of our Difference Maker series. Campus pastors were able to share. It was a great time talking about making a difference in our communities right where you live. And today we're kind of taking that next step, diving a little deeper into Difference Maker, talking about serving and the impact that we can make as we serve others.
Yeah, I'm excited about the message. You know, it's something I've been working on, but it's really true that Jesus sort of sets out this idea that if you bless others, you know, you yourself get blessed. I think in so many different ways, but we'll talk about it today. It's pretty encouraging.
Yeah, you know, you referenced kind of at the beginning, Matthew 20, 28, for the Son of Man, he didn't come to be served, but to serve and to give his life as a ransom. And that's really our model as believers, that Jesus, who has all power, all authority, you know, we were in the series about all these attributes of God, right? Yeah. He comes, and if he's going to serve, then we can serve too. You know,
absolutely.
There's nothing that's beneath us, and as soon as we start thinking that, I'm not going to do that. That's you know, we're already missing the boat for sure. Because Jesus is all about serving in any capacity.
Yeah, one of the things, and this tells you probably a lot about my personality, but we had this little lady at my previous church, and she was our cleaner. She really took such heart in keeping our facility spotless. So every time I would hire somebody on our staff, unbeknownst to them, I would send them over to the church where she was working. And she knew what was going on, so this is probably deceptive. But anyway, I wanted to know, what are these people like with somebody who has a job like this? A lot of times we think it's not an important job.
Oh, yeah.
And I've found that's probably one of the most important jobs that we have, to have clean facilities. And I was amazed how many times that they would brush her off, or just, you know, not give her the time of day, or, you know, they were there for important things. And so it helped me to get the right people with the right heart, that to serve other people is really a character of the Christian life. And it's hard for us in a world that tells us it's all about ourselves. But honestly, when you begin to look at others and look at them even more favorable than you look at yourself, which I think you have to sort of train and understand that. It's not something just naturally happens. It's a difference maker.
It really is. You know, it makes me think about that TV show Undercover Boss.
Yeah.
I don't know if you ever watched that. You know, the same idea is like the CEO, important guy.
That's so true.
You know, he goes and just becomes like a line cook, but he owns the whole franchise and watches. And you know what? 2 things you learn from that. Number one, some of them aren't as good a leader as they think they are. Right. Their values of their organization may not have permeated all the way down. Yeah. And you really find out how people treat you when you have nothing. And so, I mean, here's the idea of serving, right? Is that you could, what if I do this and I don't get anything in return?
Right. If nobody sees it.
Yeah. Unseen, you know, there's no, you know, parade. You don't even get a shout out on Twitter, you know, like, what if I just do this? And I think that we miss service opportunities. And honestly, I mean, I think I'm guilty of this too, is that I want to serve people in the way that I would like to serve them, right? Like, what would be good for me to bring to this event or bring to this person, even in like a sort of good way, but also like a way that's comfortable to me. Right. But when I look at the Bible and I see Jesus, he goes out of his way to serve, right? He like washes the disciples' feet, which is like the ultimate. Why would he do that, right? I think it's hard for us to even grasp that concept, because it's like, oh, that's, you know, if your feet are dirty, but like people's feet are disgusting in the Bible. They don't wear like tennis shoes. It's something that was so common, right? It'd be the most common thing to do.
Absolutely. And it was practiced.
And
I
mean,
and the thing I love about what Jesus did there is all the other 12 had a chance to wash each other's feet, you know, but they sit down at the table and prop their feet up in each other's face, because in those days the table was a lot shorter than ours. You sort of lounged and ate. So, you know, here you're in somebody's feet right under your face, and nobody chooses to wash each other's feet. Jesus comes in, turns the table.
Man, that's good. And so he's pointing them to service, and he's picking up their slack. Right? Again, the Son of Man shouldn't have to do these things, but at the same time, that is what he should do, because he's modeling to us. You shared a couple things that I really want to dig into, because I think they are something I don't know, that just really piqued my interest. And so the question was, how do you make a difference by serving others? And you said, look for opportunities to bless others, to open up your eyes.
Yeah, I think that we see so many opportunities that we just pass. Sort of how this point came to being, and this is something that happened maybe last year, and it was a day much like today. It wasn't hardly as cold as this weekend, but it was a chilly day. And hey, here's the deal: date nights at my house are really rare. We had all the kids taken care of. Brenda and I are going to go out. We're going to go for a little date night.
Yeah. And
on the way out of get on the main road out of our subdivision, here's a lady with a flat, and she looks like, like one of my kids. Like, what do I do now? And I want to pass her up so bad, just because I'm like, I don't want to deal with this woman who's in distress, who has a flat tire. It's her problem. But I just couldn't, I couldn't pass. And Brenda said, what are you going to do? I said, we're going to have to stop and help. So, I changed her tire for her, and it was difficult for me. I mean, we all three tried to figure it out and finally got it figured out. It took us an hour. I mean, I'm completely dirty, filthy. And I know this lady, and she knows me, right? And I'm thinking, I am going to get a letter. I'm probably going to get, a gift card. Yeah. I've not heard from her since. And our date night was not great, So, I struggled with that a little bit because I think, who sees when you do the right thing? And what I've had to learn is, you do the right thing because it's the right thing, right? And, God sees, God takes notice. So we don't serve others to get something back. We serve others when we see that there's a need that we can serve.
That's good. So many times it's so easy to miss those things, right? Because you're busy. It's like, I got to spend time with my wife. That's a good thing.
It was a great thing.
Date night's awesome and rare, right? And you get that opportunity. And it does, sometimes serving is going to cause some discomfort. It's going to cause your plans to derail. And I know, like, if you're watching this, when someone asks you, man, how's your day going? You're like, so busy, right? Everybody's like, I'm so busy. And I'm guilty of that too. It's like, I got a lot going on. And it's, but like taking moments out of your day to go to just see, to open your eyes and see the world around you. It's so easy, right? You just grab your phone, you're walking in, you got your head, like you're in your own world, right? And really Jesus, he just sees people. Right. So many times in the Bible it says, and Jesus saw that person, right? He sees Zacchaeus. He sees the person sitting by the pool at Bethesda. Like he sees these people that other people overlook. Yeah. And so if we're going to serve others, maybe you're watching this and you're like, I don't really know if I have any service opportunities. I would guess this week, if you would just take a moment to look around, you would see something that you can do.
Absolutely, James. I mean, simple things, like. One of the things I've learned, because our church is a little larger, is we're in the people business. I love people. I'm not trying to do other things as the leader of Highlands that doesn't affect people, because people have stories and hearts and brokenness and souls, and they need redeemed. So on Sunday morning, when all the people of Highlands come together, I just try to sort of separate myself from people I know, and I just try to just go through and meet people and talk to people and hear people and pray with people. Sure. And I'm amazed at how many needs that I come aware of just on a given Sunday, traveling through the mall out there, meeting people. And it's the same at every location. I just find that all of our locations, there are plenty of opportunities for us to serve others. Simple ways.
Yeah, that's good. So we're going to open our eyes. We're going to look for opportunities. And number 2, you said to take action as God guides us, to open our hands and do something. Yeah. It's easy to notice something, right? It's easy to be an armchair quarterback, to say, oh, he should have done this or should have done that. You can kind of judge other people. It's not hard for us to judge people.
No, it's not.
It doesn't take that's a pretty natural easy, feeling. Yeah. What is difficult is to take action, to open our hands, and to actually do something.
Yeah. I think you're so right, James. So my idea is we open our eyes and we see these things, and then God really does guide us and direct us. We can't do everything. We have so many opportunities in most of our lives. So what does really God want us to do? And as you find what God wants you to do, take action and go serve, and this is what you learn, is that you think you're helping somebody else, but it is therapy for you. I mean, it is honestly helping you more than anybody else you help. And I think that's the reason Jesus made us that way, that he came to serve, not to be served. We're here to serve, not to be served. And when we do that, so many things that we struggle with, like our anxiety and our, all the stress in our lives, we're like, golly, we just were able to help somebody and make a difference. And that feeling is great for us to experience.
Yeah, it feels good to serve others. Several years ago, I was involved more in student ministry and take lots of trips every year to different places, going down to places that were very hot, maybe difficult. And I would always remind the students, and I would tell them this and really tell myself this, is that the cure for cynicism and selfishness and all that is service. The cure for, inward thinking, right? If you want to get out of that cycle of, I'm just so focused on myself, I'm so selfish, I'm so, you can beat yourself up with that, or you could just serve someone else. Like, that's how you break that cycle. That's true. You don't have to wait until you feel better to serve someone. It's like, oh God, you couldn't use me. I'm so bad. I'm so this. I'm like, serving people, they don't care how, you're such a bad, sinful person, but like, you can serve them. Because serving is always a good choice.
Always.
I can't think of a time as like, well, I could have served them, but there's a better thing to do, right? And really, that's the model of Jesus, right? You could say that Jesus had better things to do, right? To preach the gospel, to go and do, like, he's God. Yeah. Why is so much of the story of the New Testament about serving others? Yeah. Well, there is nothing greater than that. Right? Jesus would even say that. There's nothing greater than even laying your life down for someone else. And Jesus models that for us. You mentioned in Proverbs 11:25, the one who blesses others is abundantly blessed. I love that, because it's like, even when you think this isn't good for me, I'm giving of my resources, my time, my whatever, God's actually going to bless us in that process.
And he does. It's just a principle that God has laid out in his word. He honors. He does.
That's good. So if we're going to be difference makers, we're going to serve. We're going to see our community. We talked about that last week, having a heart for people, and really changing our perspective from just seeing a place to seeing those people that are there. And now this week, what are we going to do, right? We're going to observe them. We're going to find opportunities to serve, and we're going to open our hands. And really, we would love to invite you to take an even greater step, and that's to join us to become difference makers. You can be a difference maker, and we, as the church, as God's people, can be difference makers. November 24th, we're going to take up a special time of like an offering, a gift that you can give. You can give one time. You can give reoccurring. So maybe you're like, I want to give, but I don't have anything to give right now. You can set up a reoccurring plan for all of 2020. So pray about that, think about that, because all of us together can make an exponentially greater difference. Just like the boy with his, with the 5 loaves and the fish feeding thousands. You may think, man, I don't have a ton of resources. Like, me neither. I'm praying about what God would have us give, and I know it's not going to be as much as other people, but I do trust that when I live with open hands, he's going to bless us. So I'd love to invite you to think about that. Go to differencemaker.church. You can read all about that. And again, Alan, thank you so much for being here. Yes. Excited about the rest of the series and what's coming up the rest of this year. We'll see you guys next time.